Continuing part 3, the story of the scroll, the reversal. Haman is speechless. Beaming with self-assurance, Haman enters into the king's presence. It was now the time of his life. What does Haman know about the Chatzoth, the reversal, the midway point? Who is it anyway in this world that knows the moment? The moment when Abimelech had to restore Sarah, the moment when night divided itself on behalf of Abram in his strife with the 4 kings, the moment when the exodus from Egypt was to take place, the moment of the reversal with Sennacherib, the moment of the downfall of Belshazzar. It is also the moment when prophets see their visions and dreamers have their dreams. Thus did Ahasuerus dream when Michael appeared before him. Michael appeared in the garb of a beggar. Could it be otherwise in the world of Ahasuerus? Haman knows his glory is now really taking shape. So when the king asks him what should be done to a man who has won the king's favor, he simply cannot think but that the king is referring to him personally. It would assuredly have been the case in the period of the waxing moon in the world of the first half. Undoubtedly, in that case, the king would have him in mind. But in the meantime, something had happened. Almost imperceptibly, the curve had been accomplished, and at this moment, a different world prevails. Everything is now reversed, changed into its counterpart. The Esther Nistar is to reveal her secret. Mordecai, the persecuted one, is to be the great doer in this world. Mighty Haman is to disappear. The reversal is here, but the world is not yet aware of it. It is, indeed, so unbelievable one imagines oneself to be dreaming still. Haman, in fact, acts in accordance with his experiences and according to his consciousness of the previous world. So he gives a list of all the things he craves for himself in this new world: royal apparel, the royal crown, royal bases, the heralding about of all this. It fits in so beautifully with the line of development, that fantastic hyperbolic line. At that very moment falls the great blow, the stunning blow, the utterly incredible. The king says, "Do all this for Mordecai, the Jehudite." You, Haman, so much convinced of your own abilities and power, go and do this for him that was the silent, poor, non-believer in your imperium, for him that you meant to destroy, because he ever annoyed you, irritated you. Yea, even for the man for whom I myself issued a law of Medes and Persians, that he should be destroyed. Haman is speechless. Then he tries to back out of it. In the end, he offers Ahasuerus all he has to offer. He even offers to become the slave of Mordecai, if only he need not do that, fall like that, from one extreme to the other. Ahasuerus accepts all that Haman offers, yet he sticks to his instruction. Haman himself has to proclaim Mordecai's social elevation. Haman himself has to hand him that. The world of development is suddenly faced with a stunning blow. What it had encountered as unimportant, annoying, disturbing in its complete world picture, what it was just going to exterminate, and what, to its own honest conviction, had met with success, all this suddenly proves to be all that matters. And development itself will have to herald the fact. It will have to impart to the whole world that the secret was all that mattered, that the Ivri, the Jehudai, was what mattered, that development had merely been pretending, that henceforward it would be the servant of the other. Development is the first to know it, together with Ahasuerus, who now suddenly is completely changed. Mordecai is altogether unaware of the fact that Jehudim are still in sackcloth and ashes, but development has already been faced with the fact. Development, to its dismay, has found it out. Its world comes crashing down. However, it may do to mitigate the blow, to cover things up. It is merely becoming worse. The world that had imagined to have reached the goal now realizes it has made a false landing. It is now the servant of all it had reviled. It was a reversal of all values, all standards, especially that king, that mechanically reacting, foolish king. Something had happened to him. Indeed, he has now come to understand the story of the primeval beginning. When he saw Haman coming, he recognized him from his dream, and he knew that Haman had come to kill him. The forces of development would not stop at anything, and Ahasuerus had seen a little of this world and of the other. He realized that he had now to act in accord with the other, but he remained the fool he was. The small quantity of flour wins the day. Now, Haman goes to Mordecai to inform him of his inconceivable reversal and also to proclaim Mordecai's glory to the world. Development will have to do so at once after midnight. Unbelievable yet true. Mordecai is in the school with the children. When he sees Haman coming along, he knows the latter has come to hang him. He knows that there will be no room for him in the coming world. He turns to God in a final dialogue. Meanwhile, Haman asks the children which subject they had been discussing. The pupils answer that it was about the small quantity of flour which at the korban, the sacrifice, is brought to God in the temple. Haman inquires after the money value of the flour. It turns out to be very small. Then he exclaims, "This small quantity of flour of yours has superseded my 10,000 talents of silver." Haman is beginning to realize now that the standards of reality are different from his own, that his riches actually are insignificant, that all glamour, pomp and circumstance and power is outweighed by the inconspicuous, by that which counts for nothing in this world. Haman is now beginning to realize that the world's structure could not be found in that which phenomenal form displayed as strength and power, but that to the contrary, it was hidden and expressed itself notably in what is small and inconspicuous here. Precisely because of its being hidden in this world, the Nistar expresses itself tentatively, modestly. In fact, it is hidden. The Nistar does not mention its name. Now, Haman realizes the power, the all-encompassing power of the Halachah, which in fact was or has the structure of the small, the inconspicuous. Haman had derided it because it was contrary to his forces of development, because it disturbed the theory of these forces and the service to this world. That is why Haman had been disposed to eliminate it, in line with development. And now this line of development announced his own liquidation. To be sure, things had been happening in the world. The children in the school, called Tinokoth Shel Beth Rabbon, are said to carry the whole world on their shoulders. People pray to God to save the world for the sake of these Tinokoth Shel Beth Rabbon. Mordecai cannot believe it either. Now, Mordecai makes ready for his last trip. When Haman tells him he has brought the royal apparel for him, he only sees mockery in it. He cannot believe either that the world has brought anything except further development. Though he had always prayed to God for help, he himself had never expected the help to express itself in such a reversal. Even Mordecai thinks in terms of relief of pressure, change of regime, punishment of evil. That there was to come such a worldwide reversal is almost unthinkable, even to Mordecai. That is why at Haman's appearance, even though it is past midnight now, Mordecai is in utmost fear and desolation. The Jehudim tax him with having kept his Ivri attitude so truly. The great foe, Amalek, is facing him with all strength. Nobody gives help, not a sound anywhere that might indicate any relief. It is the farthest point which Mordecai has now reached, the point where one knows oneself forlorn and desolate and forlorn in this world. The purposelessness of everything crosses his mind in his despair. Here it is that man is the image of the Creator. Creation is on the edge of ruin. The forces of development are no factor to play with. They are immense forces. They are also God's forces to cause this world to exist. If God is in despair about man and the world, it is a real despair. The greatest bliss of reunion, of the return, would never be that immense bliss unless the antithesis, the definite downfall, had been a real possibility. Immense bliss is not an emancipated bliss unless the antithesis is seriously present. The fear and the desolation of Mordecai reflect the fear and desolation in God. Even with the Shekinah and with the Neshama, there is the possibility of making one's choice, hence downfall, ruin is possible. Thus, previous to this creation, 974 worlds went down. Similarly, existences go to destruction in this creation, never to make their appearance here anymore. The Neshama returns to her divine abode, but existence here has not always a resurrection. Such a non-returning existence is a world destruction. Every individual man, in fact, is the universe itself. We do not see him as such, for we merely see an instantaneous exposure, a snapshot. In reality, every single individual is the universe. For the sake of this waning existences, God is in despair. For in that case, worlds go down. It is an imprint here of the devastation of the 974 worlds. Of the 1,000 worlds, 26 remain. This is the significance of this statement in ancient lore. These remaining 26 are the 26 generations of the Torah. The 26th is that which gets the revelation. Therewith, the 1,000th world is completed. Now, 1,000 in Hebrew is identical with the name of the first letter, the letter 1. Then the way of the return is completed. Then creation has fulfilled its purpose. The 974 worlds are nameless. That is the devastation. Their existences have fulfilled their function like yeast, like things leavened. The 26 generations have all been mentioned by their names. That is what remains, what returns home. That is also man's resurrection. Whatever is in the world is in man also. Thus, the fear and forlornness of Mordecai is the fear and forlornness of the world. When there is this transit, it is also the moment of death in individual man. Is not the exodus from Egypt the pattern of which every individual birth and individual death are an imprint? It is the halfway point of the night.